everyone, I'm Diana of Crooked Little Studio. I posted these super cool little mini composition books that I covered with gel prints on my Instagram and Facebook recently and had a few people ask me how I do it. It's pretty easy. I will show you what to do and what not to do because I've learned the hard way. So come join me. So I purchased these at Dollar Tree. They come 3 to a package for $1.25. Nice deal. And I know I've seen them on Amazon. They're not nearly as cheap as at Dollar Tree though, but show you. There are 50 sheets in each, and these are blank on the insides of the covers, which are really nice. So I'm going to cover the front and back, and I just select prints that I've already done. Most of these have been stuck back because they didn't make the cut for a nice composition to be framed or something like that. These are actually pretty old. I made these quite a while back. So one 6x6 or one 5x7 will cover one book. So I've selected these, and I'm going to first of all trim around the edges, and then I'll show you where I cut them. I don't try to cut them exactly this size. I cut them a little bit larger and then trim them down after they are glued. I start by trimming the edges and getting them square. So I line up my registration system. These aren't always square on the page. So I line up one of the edges and trim like so. It's actually a little crooked. It doesn't really matter because these are going to be larger than they need to be. There's that one. So I have used two different types of adhesives. I've used the Liquitex Matte Medium, and I have used the Tombow Mono glue stick. I prefer the glue stick. And really, confession time, when I did the first ones, I was using the matte medium, and I was brushing my medium onto the book and onto the cover and sticking it down and then sticking it under a book. I got both sides, and I'd put it under a heavy book so that I make sure everything adhered. But what I didn't realize was that I was getting glue off the edges of the cover, and I glued together some of the pages. And so I actually ruined 2 or 3 of these little books. So a solution, I have baking parchment. If you put that in your book like so, you won't have to worry about that. So I'm going to use the glue stick for this. I'm going to determine first of all what my cover is going to be, figure out whether it matters to me or not. I think I like this one. So I'm going to put glue on both surfaces. I have a piece of deli paper that I use for pulling off excess paint on my prints, but I'm going to use this to put underneath to protect my table. So parchment's in there. I go right along this edge. And make sure I'm getting to the edges on here. Now there will be glue on part of this that's not actually being adhered to anything. But the way this tape helps is that I can line this up and just kind of push the paper, the straight edge of the paper. That's why I use a paper cutter. If I were using scissors, I'd have gaps in there. So it gets pressed down. I use an old gift card. To make sure it adheres overall. And I'm going to do the same thing for the back. Go right along the edge of the tape. If I get it a little over, I can use a damp paper towel to wipe it off before it dries. And same thing on this side. Oops. And then I will get a heavy book to put on top of it, like so. I would put, if I were doing several at once, I would put several, you know, I'd stack them up, but I would put parchment paper in between in case there's any glue leaking out anywhere. And we'll wait for these to dry. I'll go ahead and do the other one off camera, but I'll wait for these to dry, and then I'll show you how to trim the edges. Okay, these have dried overnight, so they're ready to be trimmed down. So my blade is relatively sharp. It hasn't been used a whole lot. We'll see if it's sharp enough. So what I do is I'm going to cut along the edge. You can use a straight edge if you're a little uncertain, but as long as I'm kind of pulling toward myself and am really careful, I can follow the line of the edge of the book pretty easily. Just taking it nice and slow. Slow down around the corner. That can go in the collage box. Every once in a while, I'll make a little mistake, and if there'll be like a little peel where I've had to cut again, and I can just use a little emery board to sand it off carefully along the edge. So that is it. Pretty easy. The hardest part is making sure you don't glue the pages together on the inside, as I learned the hard way. But I sell these at the gallery, not for much, for $5 maybe. Kind of covers my rent. I pay rent to display my work where I display it, and these help cover that. So I think it's worth it. All right. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.